Hello everybody. I'm just going to show you how I solved the first 11 equations on this worksheet, literal equations. So use this as a reference to help you. Let's start by, remember, you want to get the indicated variable by itself. So in the first one we want b by itself. So if it helps, pretend they're just numbers. If I have b here, I need to get rid of the m and the x. So it's a positive mx, so the way I'm going to move it is by subtracting. So you'll see here I minus mx from both sides, and rather than write it underneath, what I'm going to do is write it horizontally. I'm going to say y minus mx, and now I have b by itself. And you know what? You're done. So that's one of the beauties of this. You're done. Okay, on this one I have the m is the variable I want to get by itself, so I do have an x and I have a b. And remember, we always do order of operations backwards, so I'm going to minus the b from each side, and it's going to look like this. My next move is I'm going to try and get that m by itself, so I'm going to move the x by dividing it. And here you go, that's what I did. And it's important to remember, when you divide both sides by x, you're dividing the entire side. So make a nice big vinculum there and put that x underneath it. Or you could use a parentheses if you'd like to. On this next one, we want x by itself. So very similar, it's going to look the same except we're getting x by itself instead of m. Okay, so you look here. My first move was to minus that b. We do order of operations backwards. And my second move was to get rid of that multiplying m. I divided m. And now I have x by itself. Let's look at this one here. Here we have x is our target, and I see that there's a minus n. So remember, order of operations backwards, we're going to add or subtract first. So I added n to v, and I wrote it this way. And my next move is I'm going to get rid of that multiply a by dividing the entire side by a. And here's my answer. X equals v plus n over a. So these are easier in the sense that you don't have any computation to do. You don't have to deal with decimals or fractions. You just move your stuff around. Let's look at number 5. Number 5 we have y, and so I need to move this positive 3x. So I'm going to minus 3x to move that away. So I did that. I minus 3x, and now I wrote 40 minus 3x. My next move is to divide by 2. I'd like to say something before I solve this last part. You can divide 40 by 2, but if you do that, you need to divide the negative 3 by 2 also. Otherwise, I'm okay if you leave it like this. If these both were even, though, I would definitely say divide. I'm going to show you what it looks like if we do divide both terms. Here's what it looks like. Y equals 20 minus 3 over 2 x, or 3 halves x. On this one, we want pi by itself. This is going to be a real quick one. All we see is that d is multiplying to pi, so we're just going to divide by d. And this is actually a true equation. Circumference divided by diameter does equal pi, and that's how pi was invented. Okay, a few more. So here we're looking for y. So my first move is to move this positive 12x, and I'm going to minus it. That is positive. Okay, so I moved the 12x by minusing it. So I have 16 minus 12x. Now I'm going to divide both sides by negative 8. And let's pretend this is a fraction and we reduce it. So it's 16 over 8 and 12 over 8. So I'm going to reduce this. So what I did was I did 16 divided by negative 8 is negative 2, and then I did a negative 12 over a negative 8 reduces to positive 3 over 2, and then the x is with it. Okay, this is going to get a little weird. So we want m by itself. So because m is the weirdo in the basement, or denominator, what we're going to do is multiply both sides by m to get it out of the denominator. That's exactly what I just did. So I multiplied m to both sides. Now I have ym over z. So you need to get rid of the y and the z. You can do this in one move or two moves. If you do it in one move, you're going to multiply by the reciprocal or reciprocal. If you do it in two moves, you're going to multiply z over here and then divide by y over here. Here's what it looks like. So what I did was I multiplied by the reciprocal or reciprocal, and which is z over y. And so now I have zx over 2y, and m is by itself. Okay, same thing on number 9. We need to get the b over here, so I'm going to multiply both sides by b. Okay, once again, I have 4/7 multiplying the b, so I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal to get rid of that. When I do that, I can cross cancel. 4 goes into 12 3 times. Okay, so I end up with 21x. 7 times 3 is 21. 21x equals b. All right, I'd really like to talk about number 10. We're solving for a. If you were to distribute the a into this, you're just going to have to take it back out later. So a smart move would be to move this minus 8m. Then I'll show you the next move. So we're going to minus 8. We're going to get rid of the minus 8m right now. So I added 8m to both sides, and 10m plus 8m is 18m. Now, I'm not going to distribute the a because I want it by itself. So what I'm going to do is divide the entire side, both sides, by this parentheses. That's what I did. So I wrote 9m plus 20 under both sides, and here's my answer. 18m over 9m plus 20. As far as reducing, I would leave this right now. It was not going to reduce very well. Last one, we have m we want to get by itself. So here I'm going to add 40, and then I'm going to divide w just so it doesn't get any messier. That's exactly what I did. I added 40 to 100, and I ended up with 140. Then I'm dividing both sides by w. Okay, my next move is going to be, I'm going to minus 2. So I minus 2. My next move after I minus the 2, and notice I just have to write it on the side, is I need to divide by 3. Remember, if I divide by 3, I'm multiplying by 1/3. So I'm going to put a 3 underneath here so to divide this by 3, and then I'm going to put a 3 underneath my 2. I'm going to write my final answer on the bottom here. Final answer, guys, 140 over 3w. The 3 has to go underneath each term, and then minus 2 over 3. I hope that helps. Good luck on your assignment and finishing the packet today. Take care. Bye-bye.